Welcome, everybody, to the RLT Pivot Podcast. I'm Tracy, and I'm here with my co-host, Dan Jansen, and we have a special guest here today with us, Matt DeLong. He is the CTO of reallifetrading. And just before we get started, just a reminder, the chat is live, so if you guys have any questions, please throw it into the chat, and we'll be certain to answer those questions. Now, if you guys are struggling day trading, or if you are maybe not having the time to day trade, or you just don't like sitting in front of a computer, stick around, because this particular podcast is designed strictly for you as we dive into why are you a closet swing trader. So welcome. Dan, Absolutely. How are you doing?
I am awesome. This is unbelievable. We got the new format, so we're going live on video. So most previous podcasts, obviously, for you guys tuning in, we've been all audio. So from here on forward, we are going video format. And even more important than that, we got one of my best friends of the show, Tracy. We got Matt DeLong here. And like you said, we did a podcast on swing trading before. Matt, if you want to just introduce yourself, just tell us a little bit about the term that you've coined pretty famously is closet swing trader. Just tell us a little bit about what that is.
Sure. So I actually joined Real Life Trading as a trader, a customer back in early 2016. And so I've been with the group for many, many years. And I started out day trading like most of you probably did. And there's this thing where you feel like you have to make a certain amount of money every day. And so there's these struggles that we all go through trying to figure out what is our strategy, what is our style, what makes sense for our time, our schedule. And I had just sold a software company for a chunk of money, a nice chunk of money. And I didn't really want to be trapped in front of the screen all day, every day, because I was a CEO of a software company for 14 years. And so I was in front of the computer screen for hours and hours and hours all day, every day. And I was thinking, I don't really want to have to do that if I don't have to. And so through the trials and tribulations of learning how to be a trader, I discovered that you don't have to be a day trader. There's more than that. There's obviously, everyone has heard of being a long-term investor like a Warren Buffett, where you hold things for years and years and years. And then there's day traders, which everyone's heard of. But I've yet to meet anyone in the wild, whether it's a barbecue or sitting next to someone on the plane, who's really ever heard of this thing called a swing trader, right? And so it's a hybrid between day trading, and it's kind of in the middle between a day trader who's in and out in a few minutes or hours, and a long-term investor who holds things for years and years and years. So that is kind of the basic of what a swing trader is. Now, in my journey, I really felt like I had to make money and had to do this day trading thing, and I had to push this forward no matter what. And I'm the type that I don't give up. Like I'll pass out or die before I give up on something that I really, really want. And so I ended up kind of coming up with I coined this term, a closet swing trader. And it's basically day traders who really struggle, and maybe, just maybe, day trading isn't your thing, right? So maybe swing trading is your thing. And a lot of day traders have this fear of switching to swing trading. I know plenty of people who do both day trading and swing trading. I know Dan, you and Tracy probably both do. You both are good at both. But when you switch, a lot of people have this anxiety of, what about that thing they call overnight risk? It's like, oh my gosh, the world is ending. And there's strategies and tools and things that you can do to minimize that kind of a thing when you have overnight risk. But at the National Retreat back in September of last year, I was sitting at dinner with a few traders. Dan, you were there, and this conversation came up. This guy's like, I need to make X number of dollars a day, and then I can quit my job. And my question to him was, why do you have to make money every day? And some of you guys watching live or watching the recording, some of you have probably never had a job where you get paid every single day, like payday is every day. But usually not the best paying job when you get paid, a handful of cash for the day. It's usually not the best paying job. And so, if you have money in the bank, then the question is, why do you have to get paid every day? Like, why not just have a weekly or a monthly goal or something a little bit that's not so much pressure? Because we've all done that. We've probably all made those noob mistakes. I call that paying everyone's paid stupid tax. Everyone's paid their fair share, some of us more than others. And so this idea is maybe you are a day trader that's struggling and you just can't seem to get things to work. You've tried so many different strategies. You can execute the plan. You can do your thing. It's just not your thing, right? And so maybe swing trading is your thing. And so I coined this term being a closet swing trader, where you kind of come out of the closet. You're a swing trader. You just don't know it yet, right? And that's kind of the idea. Yeah.
Right.
So Matt, how long did it actually take you to figure out that day trading wasn't for you?
About a year and a half or so, give or take. Mm-hmm. But it took
about
some
a year
time
and a half.
because I wanted to make things happen, right? And so I wasn't going to give up. But it never occurred to me there's another option. And so one of the things you have to think about is, do you really want to be a day trader, or do you want to just make money trading stocks? And depending on which direction you go, once you have like a clear idea in your mind, then whatever comes along is either an opportunity or a distraction. So for me, I decided I didn't necessarily want to day trade. I wanted to make money trading stocks. And so that opened up this whole new world that I live in now. So, yeah.
So let me ask you this. So if the one thing that you did say is obviously when you're day trading, you're closing out your positions. There's no overnight risk. Swing trading, you are taking on the overnight risk. So what was the mentality shift that you had as far as being able to say, you know what, I'm gonna be able to take on this extra risk overnight and be able to deal with that and still sleep at night and not have to check your phone every 2.5 seconds where the futures are at?
Yeah, so great question. So what I did was actually, I think Warren Buffett does this still, but a few years ago when I was kind of struggling with this, I actually went out to Berkshire Hathaway's website and I looked at how many shares does Warren Buffett own of everything, like how many shares of Coca-Cola, Wells Fargo, blah, blah, and actually put it in a spreadsheet. And he will publish how much his average cost basis is. And so what I did was I said, I want to use the Google Sheets. If you guys have used Google Drive, the Google Sheets tool, and I want to add the market price, give or take 15 minutes. And I want to watch on a daily basis how much that thing goes up and down. And I want to be able to stomach hundreds of millions of dollars up and down every day. And so I'm like, I don't have hundreds of millions of dollars in my account. So if he can do it, I can do it. And so that's one of the things I used. Obviously, that kind of gets past the mental thing. I actually published that a few years ago, and literally it was up and down hundreds of millions of dollars every day. And when you have, $75 million out there, most people don't really think about, the ebbs and flows that come with that big of a portfolio. But if you think of it in terms of percentages, like up a few percent or down a few percent a day, then if you think about on a smaller scale, those are much, much smaller numbers, which any one of us can reasonably use. So if you're up and down 4 or 5 digits in a day, that's not the end of the world compared to what Warren Buffett has to manage. And so one of the strategies that I came up with was using collars, which is a little bit of an advanced thing where you buy a chunk of stock over time. You kind of pyramid on the way down, where you're buying at different levels on the way as a stock is moving lower. And then as it becomes profitable, you're using collars. So you're selling a covered call and buying a lower strike put. And so so no matter what happens, like Fastly or Pinterest this past few days, I'm protected, right? So whatever happens doesn't matter. If it goes lower, I'm protected. If it goes higher, good. It's good for the overall trade. So it does take a little bit of time to develop that skill. Not everyone learns options immediately. I literally took a year plus before I even scratched the surface on trying to even learn what options were. But it certainly helps manage the ebbs and flows. Plus, looking at what Warren Buffett has to deal with, it's not so bad.
Right.
Now, are you primarily in stock, or you do both options and stock?
I do both stocks and options, and I feel like the best trader is a hybrid of stocks and options. I know people who only do options and people who only do stock, but I feel like if you're able to use options to maybe hedge or protect your gains without actually selling the stock, I think that's the best stance, the best position to be in, where you don't really have to worry about lots of wild swings up and down. If the overall market sells off, you're still in a good place, right? You might give up a little bit of your gains, but you have lots of protection on the downside. And then when you sell a covered call, of course, you do cap some of your gains, but when you sell a way out of the money covered call, you got a long way to go. And I typically do 30 to 60 days for expiration on my typical collars.
Gotcha.
Good.
And then
That's awesome.
I know you as a person, very technical, need to measure kind of your strategies a little bit. Day trading, it gives you a little less time to be able to calculate those exact strategies exactly. It's a little bit of strategy plus a little bit of feel, momentum, protecting the risk, things like that. With swing trading, is there certain tools? I know you have a few very popular ones, but what would you say you do most as far as being able to swing trade? Is it more like, famously, obviously, you have the Momo one, you have pyramid building, you do a couple different plays with options and selling puts, things like that. Is there anything that you do more over another strategy, or is it just kind of equal across the board?
Right. So that's a great question. So as markets are pushing all-time highs, I usually don't do a ton of put sales. I like to wait for the overall market to pull back some before I doing put sales. But yeah, I'm getting some good opportunities to do that so far a little bit today. So I do so what's interesting about swing trading is most people assume they have to be profitable every single day, just like day trading, which you don't, right? And there's unrealized gains, there's realized gains. But for me, some of my strategies work well during pullbacks. So if you're building a position where you're going to buy maybe 100 shares at a certain level, you're going to buy maybe 200 shares another level, 300 and 400. You have to have those pullbacks for those positions for the pyramid to get built, right? And once you go from a place that's like, I'm a bullish swing trader and the market's selling off, oh no, it's the end of the world. It's really not. But you have to have that right perspective, that right mindset, that the market has to pull back in order for these pyramids to be built, right? And so I did that literally in the past month, we'll say 45 days on Fastly, and I built a nice position and it was up 27 Rs. I went ahead and put it on a collar and locked in some of my gains, and it sold off and gapped down after earnings just the past day or two. And I'm protected at certain levels, right? So it doesn't really matter anymore. But to answer your question, Dan, the strategy really determines I do like 4 main strategies, but it's really based on what the market is doing overall. And if the market is pulling back, then put sales and setting up pyramids are good. Momo, which is super popular in the real life trading community, we actually have software that automates the trades now, which is pretty amazing. We have about half a dozen or so, maybe a dozen traders who are trading that live right now today, live accounts, live money. We've kind of gotten away from the paper trading, kind of click the go live button, so to speak. And so that strategy can work in a bullish or bearish environment in either one, whether the market is going up or down. And I'm typically more of a bullish swing trader just by nature. But I know how to hedge, and so I know how to protect the downside. So, the little flashes that happened from COVID from March, April of 2020, those were very short-lived. And if you stayed short, as the markets rocketed higher, you got squeezed big time. And so I've just learned, if the escalator is going up, which is like the market, if it's going up, just go with the trend, right? You don't have to predict anything. And so that's kind of what I do. I used a handful of strategies that work at different times. Yep.
Gotcha.
Awesome. Now, Matt, we do have a question. Emily wants to know, would you wait to be a profitable swing trader before starting to integrate options?
So this is my personal advice. I have to have like a disclaimer. I would want someone to be profitable probably 6 months in a row before they jump into options. Now you can certainly learn it. You can back trade it. You can back test. Like you can kind of soak up the knowledge. But before trading options live, one of the number one reasons that I've learned that people trade options is because they're like, oh, the ROI is so much better. But it's a double-edged sword. If any of you option traders know, you can literally have call options that literally go to zero. If a stock goes sideways for 30 days and you have a 30-day option and it goes sideways, you're $3,700 or whatever amount you've put in that, it goes to zero. And so that's a different risk profile. Obviously, if the stock goes sideways with the same dollar amount, the stock's still worth something. It didn't go to zero. And so there's different ROI that happens. It's a double-edged sword. And most people see the upside and kind of ignore the downside, but you have to understand that it's a roller coaster up and down. And people who can navigate that a little bit better, especially people who've been trading profitably for a good 6 months, I believe that's kind of my answer, 6 months. Yeah.
Perfect. That's awesome. Now, I wanted to ask, how would somebody know if they're a closet swing trader? What are some of the characteristics?
Yeah.
that you
So
think?
if you've been so if you've been day trading at least 9 months to a year and you're not profitable, you might be a swing trader. This is like one of those Jeff Foxworthy, you might be a
Yeah,
redneck.
there's your sign.
If your belt buckle is, yeah. So that's the first thing. I think also is if you desire time freedom. So like financial freedom comes in a lot of different shapes and forms, right? So if you want to have lots of free time to do other things in life, whether you want to invest in real estate or travel the world, and you don't want to be stuck to looking at your monitor all day every day, then you might be a closet swing trader as well. And what's interesting is after I've kind of mentioned this whole closet swing trader, I wrote a blog article late last year telling a little bit more of my story. Like all these people are like, Matt, I might be a closet swing trader too. And I host the afternoon rooms on Fridays. And, I'm like, where are all my CSTs? Where are all my closet swing traders? And just people, it's pretty amazing because we used to have more real life traders were more day trading. But since I got involved in the swing trading has kind of pivoted a little bit more. We have just a little bit more swing traders than day traders now that work with us at RLT. So yeah, it's been an amazing journey.
Absolutely. Well, even Dean Bradshaw here pointed out that you took him out of the closet. So apparently he's now a swing trader.
Multiple times a week, I hear people like, Matt, I think I'm giving up on day trading. You're right. Because I did is part of this journey is like learning from your mistakes and adapting and learning to make good decisions. Like that's all part of a normal trading / even entrepreneurial journey, right? And so one of the things I did was I would make money swing trading and then I would lose it all day trading. I'm like, well, that's easy enough to fix. Flip the switch, no more day trading, and boom, like magic is
exactly.
from now on.
Yeah,
it's really not hard.
I think the thing that I like the most about what you're bringing into the community as far as the swing trading portion is just a mindset. I mean, the mindset where people have coming in thinking, I want to be involved in the stock market, so therefore I have to sit in front of the computer, I have to day trade. That light bulb goes on, and they go, and it doesn't mean you have to just go from day trading just to swing trading, but it gives you the option to do so if you wanted to, or have the multiple accounts and have one just for day trading and swing trading. So I think it's just more of the mindset that tells somebody we can still do very well and not sit in front of the computer, or just use what we've learned, follow a couple strategies, and be able to grow and outpace the market more than anything else. So I think that's a huge concept for people that you're really introducing them to. And do you, with your different strategies that you have though that you're following, is it all the same account? And how do you break it apart? Do you have like the pyramid account, the Momo account, things like that?
Yeah, so my trading, I have several like trading accounts, but typically I use like pyramiding and put sales in my larger account. Those are ideal for like even retirement IRA accounts where you have to, of course, have the correct permission set up on the account to be able to sell puts. If you're doing it in like an IRA, it's not a naked put. It would be like a cash secured put, so it ties up a big chunk of cash. But so I typically split those out for. For Momo is a trading account. For put sales is like a bigger trading account. And then I can also do position trading in a retirement account. Mm-hmm.
Gotcha. Now, what would you say to somebody that might not have a large account, but would like to swing trade?
Yeah. So the best way, depending on depending on what we're talking about size wise, obviously, if you have 10 or 20,000, something to start with, that's ideal to start. But typically, I think the best way to do it would be start with a very small risk unit. So a very small R, and you can do something like something as simple as either Momo or the 10 EMA strategy. And we have some indicators that we built that we just give away for free. And we have people that even aren't a part of RLT that comment and message me, Matt, thank you so much. I love this. This is, made so much money with this. And that's really what it is, that giving back as you all know, our mission is to enrich lives. And it's not just a cool thing that we say. It really is true, because we spend a lot of time and money, and we give away hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of trading and things that cost us a lot of money to produce, video editing teams and renting studios and building, like you guys know, we put out a whole lot of content and we give it away for free. And we, that's kind of what we're trying to do is to enrich lives. And we have right now about 35,000 students who've gone through our training, which has just been amazing. But for someone with a smaller account, if you want to start with a smaller risk unit, whatever that is for a 1 or 2% of your 1 or 2% of your account is your R, whatever price that is. Yeah. So.
Okay, well, let's talk turkey, because I think a lot of people think that the only way that they can actually make this a career is if they're making it through day trading. So can you feasibly make a living by being a swing trader?
Oh yeah, absolutely. So one of the things, part of what you have to do is you have to learn to master yourself, right? So one of the things I started this like early December last year, is I set up a 5-year time capsule. So I bought 5 different stocks. I put 20,000 in each, and you don't have to do that. You can use whatever amount you want, but I just wanted to prove, 5 years from now, or I guess we could say 58 months from now, when I open that, I want to see what that is worth. And I bought things like Fastly, I bought Roku, Mongo Database, CrowdStrike, and something else is eluding me right this moment. But the idea that you can make full-time income without using 40 hours a week, if I was to tell you guys, I literally only spend 3 hours a week trading to make a full-time income, most people would say, oh, that's too good to be true. It can't happen. But I'm living, it absolutely can happen. It really can. But we have our own limiting beliefs that we hit our head on those ceilings of, I can't do that. That's out of my reach. I don't have a big enough account. All of those things, we have all had our own struggles. And most people feel like once you get into a bigger account, then it'll be easier. But trust me, gang, you can have 5 and 6 digit swings in your account on a daily basis with a bigger account. Don't tell me that that's going to be easier than, a small $10,000 account. Right. And so, there's always these beliefs that once I get to a certain level, things will be easier. And it's basically everything is hard, right? So being financially free is hard. You have to be disciplined. You have to do certain things, right? And so at least for me, I tell people you have to choose your hard. So if you want to eat unhealthy, that has a certain lifestyle, and that's hard. If you want to eat healthy, that's hard. If you want to exercise, that's hard. If you want to be wealthy, that's hard. If you want to be poor, that's hard. So if it's going to be hard, no matter what, you might as well make it really count and do the things that you want to with your life, whether it's, spending time with, I have 2 daughters that are 18 and 19. One's about to graduate high school here in May. The other one's at college, and we do fun stuff. We go snowboarding on the week. We do stuff, and we have enough, if we're in a good enough place financially to be able to do that. Not just the money, but also the time, right? I can take off whatever time I want to be able to do that. And so it's not always about the money, but for me, at least, it's being a force for good. It's, having certain resources to be able to impact the world. So, yeah.
Gotcha.
I love that. If it's going to be hard, you might as well make it worth it. I think that is so great. That's really good. So thank you for sharing that. I do have another question for you. Let's talk expectations. So as a closet swing trader, what kind of R should someone be averaging a month or look to average in a month? If they were using the 10 EMA and the Momo strategy, for example, and also somebody that asked which one of those is more profitable at the time. The 10 or the
so it's
Momo.
hard to say which one's more profitable because it depends on which, it depends on what stocks you execute that on. But as far as we have, I could tell my story, I could say, here's how much I average, but at the end of the day, obviously it depends on someone's skill level, but we have traders who've literally been with us less than a year who are averaging 10 to 20 Rs a month, just executing these swing trade strategy. That's it. If you can imagine a father who a family of 6, 4 kids who are looking for extra income, and he's like, oh my gosh, this is making more than my full-time job. Right now he has options, right? Do I do this more? Or do I reduce my hours on my full-time job? And really that's kind of what we're seeing is in that range is people, obviously you have to have more than a $20 R to be able to survive unless you have, really low expenses. Both of my kids have very expensive hobbies. And so my cost of living might be a little bit higher than average, especially one in college and living on campus and living. Right. My other daughter, she's a competitive equestrian. So we're going to horse shows during the show season, every other weekend we're going out of town to Georgia, Alabama, Tennessee, wherever, Kentucky. So, but I think that's a fairly reasonable thing. But most people want to get to that level right away, but you have to be able to put in your time. You have to pay enough stupid tax to realize why executing the plan is important to begin with, right? You can't 20R and let's go, and let's we tell people, hey, you need to wait for a pullback on that stock before you jump in. No, but I don't want to. It's like, well, you guys can see what happens. If you don't, it'll pull back. It will be the question. If you're a buyer, if you're trying to sell because you bought it all time back and moving against you, and then you're selling, and then it rockets higher and goes in your direction. Every single one of us probably made those mistakes. We've all paid stupid tax with zeros on the end, right? So we've paid a lot of that. So. But I really think that's it, is you really just have to be able to, you have to be able to execute the plan. And executing the plan sounds like such a simple thing, but it's so hard for people to just do what the plan says.
The one thing I heard you say, I think it was in a previous video, is your job as a trader is just to follow your plan.
Yeah.
And it just makes so much sense. It makes so much sense as far as just being able to really just narrow your way through like this crazy forest of what signals, what strategy, all this stuff. Just follow the plan that you wrote. And then, once I kind of discovered that a little bit, like that's my entire job. It's not to make money, just follow the plan. So I think there's a huge point that you made in probably one of the other videos. The other thing too is since we're on the topic of the different strategies, for anybody that's either not in the community or hasn't found them, you guys can go to reallifetrading.com, check out all of these strategies. Matt was gracious to pretty much do a full, maybe more than an hour video on each strategy in detail, length, cut it all out. So definitely check that out. You can also check it out on Real Life Trading YouTube as well. Matt, any other final points you want to make for traders that want to follow in your footstep of freeing up their time and being able to make money as a closet swing trader?
Sure. So if any of you who are not currently members of Real Life Trading, and when I say member, I just mean like a premium member, but anybody can go create a free account, sign up for our beginners trading course, which is about 10 or 12 hours. You can go do that now. Sign up for that, join, create a RLT dashboard, which is totally free. And once you do that, there is the intro to swing trading it's a free resource that you can add to your dashboard, and you're able to watch some of these strategies that I've kind of touched on briefly today. And so you can literally go do that. And I think each one's about 3 hours. So two of them will take you about 6 hours. So spend some time this weekend. You obviously anybody can whatever you do with your free time is up to you. But ideally you could, this is what I like to leave you guys with is whatever free time you have. And I know we all have kids, they're all different ages. Some of you have brand new babies. It's really, sleep is like a luxury item for you right now. But if whatever time you're able to find, try to do your best to improve the future version of yourself, right? So if you think about Real Life Trading as far as helping you learn to trade, but imagine building a new you. And every time you have some free time, work on that new you, and that new you at some point outgrows and steps into your greatness. So yeah.
Absolutely. And Matt, you're also available for one-on-one training. Is that correct?
Yes, I do one-on-one coaching as well. Yes.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, you guys, that's about it. So Dan, take her away.
Yeah, thanks for joining us. Matt, thanks for being part of this episode. The amount of lives you enrich every day is absolutely unbelievable. Thank you for gracing us with your presence. All you guys, make sure you like, subscribe, hit that little thumbs up button on the stream, subscribe to the channel, catch the next episode. We got a lot of more stuff in store for you guys. And then check out reallifetrading.com. Visit us, take the education courses, and hopefully we see you on the mic so we can trade together. You guys are awesome.
See you guys.
Thank you guys.
Rap.